a mom is the most difficult job on the planet? How many mothers died on ice road truckers last season? Any moms get washed overboard on Deadliest Catch? I'm wrong. Maybe it is the most difficult job. I mean, I thought roofing in the middle of July as a redhead, you know? I thought that was a difficult job. I really did. I thought it was difficult. But evidently, these mothers, they're bending over at the waist, putting DVDs into DVD players. Dude, any job you can do in your pajamas is not difficult. It isn't. Yeah, to hell with these mothers. Watching cartoons, taking naps. Look, I'm messing around, but you know, come on. I know it's a difficult job, but the most difficult job in the whole planet.
Jeannie living her best life with her daughter Monaco in Boston as her custody battle with ex Jeezy takes a turn.
I'm taking it day by day, and right now I'm just focusing on Monaco. I'm focusing on things that I'm passionate about. I think at the time when I found out, you know, at the same time as the rest of the world, that my marriage was ending in divorce, I was gutted. And marriage ended in divorce, and it was kind of hard. So yeah, it's what I'm dealing with day by day, you know?
Jeezy filed for divorce in September after 2 years of marriage. At the time, things haven't been great between them, but Jeannie was very surprised by Jeezy's move.
How's everything?
Amazing. The family's great. Baby's big. She's walking all over the house.
Yeah.
She's calling me daddy now, so we there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, I met the most broken version of me. I also met the strongest version of me.
I love how you said that.
I can tell you that I'm saddened. I can tell you that I'm disappointed. I can tell you that I'm uneasy.
Feels 1,000% different than when we were dating.
Right back at him, you guys. It's your boy Perfect in the Perfect Timing Podcast Studios. Welcome to the Perfect Timing Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. Another fire show for y'all today. So y'all know we've been talking about Jeezy. I got about 3 or 4 videos with young Jeezy and the jeaniemai, Jeannie Hyundai divorce. Her name is Jeannie Hyundai because she got married for 10 years with that 10-year warranty on that thing, man. Jeezy didn't purchase a jeaniemai. Jeezy purchased a Jeannie Hyundai. So you had to trade that thing in, man. I don't know if Jeezy knew how many miles was on that thing. 10 years, man. That's 100,000 miles. Hyundai says 10 years or 100,000 miles and you get your money back, man. 10 years or 100,000 miles, man. So that ain't jeaniemai. That's Jeannie Hyundai. Jeezy like, man, I'm a millionaire, man. I can't be driving no Hyundai. So he took that jeaniemai and back to the parking lot high. Back to the parking lot high. No, not jeaniemai. It's Jeannie Hyundai. 10 years and 100,000 miles. 10 years and 100,000 miles. On Jeannie Hyundai. Yes, sir. And what I want men to realize and future wives is you guys got to pay attention to the type of women that you're marrying and the type of women that are out there, because the way certain people think about children in marriage is very scary. He did an interview with Nia Long talking about the inner child. I talked to young Jeezy that day about the inner child and about his need to actually come to the sector, talk to the men in the sector who have been doing the work with men, who have gone through the divorce, have gone through the custody battles, and that this sector is not what you may think and is perceived to be outside of the sector. You know, and the sector doesn't get its just due, because it could benefit young men like Jeezy tremendously, immensely. So I told young Jeezy you could benefit from coming to the sector, because young Jeezy said something in that interview with Nia Long where the fact that you never have felt love before. And now you having this shocking awakening moment where you're in your bed and you're crying because there's this realization with this little girl in your life that you, for the first time in your life, have recognized what love truly is. And you can't believe that everything you've went through, that your mother and everybody that you've known in your life hasn't truly loved you and have been broken individuals. And now it's sinking in. Your brokenness and your lineage of brokenness is now sinking in and it's coming crushing and rushing down, because now you're petrified of what might happen to this little girl because you don't want to perpetuate or project that same brokenness onto your daughter or to your wife because they have the ability to love. They've been loved. And your daughter is untainted by your trauma. The reason you have all this anger and bitterness toward women, Black women specifically, is because you have never been truly loved in your life by a Black woman, starting with your mother. You and your mother was in a situation of necessity. Now, that may be by your mother's design and poor choices, but the fact of the matter is your mother had to worry about survival and prioritize survival above love. And that's the way we were raised, like pit bulls. And we were taught to survive. Our mothers prioritized survival. And we thought and interpreted that relationship, that territorial competition, adversarial relationship that we had in the hood with our mom as love. And you don't know how to identify love in a healthy form or version because you've never seen it. This is what's going on with the men and the women in the battle of the sexes, is that it starts as a child with not knowing what love is because you haven't been loved, so you don't know how to identify love, and not knowing in a healthy example of two healthy adults loving each other, a man and a woman who are healthy, complete adult characters and that show love, reciprocal love in a relationship and a friendship together. You don't have that example, right? A lot of us have had that Young Jeezy moment. Thank God that we got this sector. Shout out to Young Jeezy, Tommy, Angry Man, everybody doing the hard work in the sector. Shout out to the habitual line steppers, the Cool Table, Roger Report. Everybody doing the hard work in the sector. Jeezy, what I'm saying to you that we learned in the sector is that inner child issue is that inner child never received proper love, guidance, and protection from his parental unit like every other human being, like he should have gotten and received. And that creates a broken person with the inability to love, and that's why you were crying. That's why you filed for divorce from that beautiful cinnamon bunded woman. Cinnamon buns, cinnamon bunions. Cinnamon bunions. Yeah, man. Jeannie-mai, Jeannie Hyundai, keep reeling them in with them cinnamon bunions. Yeah, man, that's that cinnamon bunion. So today, after the interview with Nia Long he files for full custody. Jeezy files for full custody, and he cites the fact that he's not able to see the child. They're not letting him see the child. Surprise, 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 surprise. Jeezy, what did Jeezy do wrong? What did Jeezy do wrong? Would not have done it this way. What did Jeezy do wrong? If he knew he was going to file for divorce, why didn't he file for divorce and custody? Did he not know about the laws that said that there is no custody as long as you're married, and he could have just took the girl? If he knew he was leaving and he knew he wanted to file for divorce, he simply could have just locked the door. He could have just moved to another place like women do. There is no kidnapping when you're married, and told Jeannie, I'm not giving you the daughter back. I don't believe you. You're a bad representation. I'm going to keep our daughter in this new house, and I'm going to file for full custody and divorce. Come on in the comments, man. We got so many experts in the sector. We got experts on child support. We got experts on divorce. We got experts on love. We got experts on relationships. What did Jeezy do? If you knew you wasn't going to be there and you filed for divorce and you had to, this is what I talk about a lot of times. Shout out to Roger Report, Cool Table, and Habitual Line Steppers. Black men don't know how to break up. What did Jeezy do wrong? Black men don't know how to break up. If this is not how she would have did it, if she was going to divorce you and leave you, she would have not have left you with the child. What is Jeezy thinking? If you were going to divorce her and she didn't know, you wait till you have custody of the child and you go to a lawyer and you say, I'm keeping the baby, I'm filing for divorce. That's what she would have done, and that's what she's doing now. You made a huge mistake. And this is what I would say to you, Jeezy. Shout out to Patrice O'Neal and Andy and Opie.
The last girl I was with for long term, when we broke up, I was at the Borgata at the time, and she's just like, yeah, I'm leaving. I was like, all right, yeah, here's the key to the room. She goes, no, I'm leaving. She goes, I'm going back to the house. I'm getting fucking U-Haul. I'm fucking leaving. I'm like, okay. I went to the dealer. I go, hold up on the deal. I pushed back from the table. I got my phone. I dialed American Express. Yes, could you cancel card number 36 blah, 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 blah. Canceled all the fucking cards. It's like, all right. I made another call. Yeah, she's come back to the house to grab some shit. Just be there and make sure she just takes her shit. Okay. You know why? You learn the first time. You live and learn. Don't be a nice guy.
Don't nice your way out of your own happiness,
be a nice
my friend.
guy. Fuck that.
It's the trickle-down theory, my friend.
I went to the bank to get half the money out. That was great when I did that, when I was getting a divorce. Yeah, let me go down there, and I'll take half the money out, leave her with half, and we can, go on.
And she's a nice person.
And I went down there, and I filled out my withdrawal slip, and I went in the bank.
One of the greatest moments I ever saw.
Let me get the manager. Like, ooh. He goes, yeah, Mrs. Cumia has emptied this account. There's, $1.50 left in here. And
a joint account?
Oh, yeah.
So a joint, you can't take more than half in a joint, right?
Oh, no, you can.
Oh, you can take it all.
You can take it all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She took the whole motherfucker.
Joint account. Either person can take all of it.
Took it all.
You really got to trust someone to have a joint account.
And there I am going like, yeah, I'm going to I'm like, motherfucker, I'm taking half that money, but I'm taking it right now, motherfucker. Fuck her. And I get there, fuck her, fuck me.
And you wasn't even saying
whole thing.
You wasn't even saying fuck her.
No, I wasn't. I was just saying,
Patrice,
this is fair.
Hold on. I was a witness to this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, that's exactly what Ant said he was going to do.
Yeah. That's the fair thing to do.
And I was in the lobby of that bank when that conversation went on. I went, oh, no.
But here's a dude, though. This is dudes.
I left like, I left like the mayor of Amity when Brody wanted him to sign the paper in the hospital. But I was just at the bank. I had money.
Don't nice your way out of your own happiness. Remember where y'all heard that first, man. Giving up a lot of game on this episode. Let's go to some deep. After Jeezy filed for full custody, there was a smear campaign. Yeah, believe it or not, after Jeezy files for full custody, there was a smear campaign launched by jeaniemai, Jeannie Hyundai, saying that Jeezy is violent and known to have guns and that he actually physically assaulted her. And so this is another reason why Jeezy could have benefited from coming to the sector, because we could have told him about nicing yourself out of your own happiness and about how these things systematically go this way. Jeezy, this is like, and you don't know this because but you got other baby mamas, so you should have known the baby mama two-step. But let me, because a lot of times women hear us talk about these things and they think we're upset. So when it comes to like domestic violence, it's a lot of times when people say believe all women, but I just recently did a story about Harvey Weinstein and we see what believe all women got us, right? Harvey Weinstein's convictions overturned. So to the effect of believe all women and domestic violence as it relates to breakups and unreported domestic violence until it comes to a custody hearing. I shared with my audience, and I think it's relevant to bring it up now, about in the Midwest, the first state to go 50-50 custody. This happened in the Midwest. It's because the district attorney said that rural white fathers were getting abused by child support because they didn't make enough money, didn't have enough money, and the child support laws were too abusive. So they needed a way to bring relief to the rural white fathers in the Midwest. What they found is that domestic violence went down because typically what they would see in family law court is that a person would break up and the woman would immediately file a domestic violence or say that the man that she was with and in deep love with for multiple years with multiple children all of a sudden was physically violent and was a danger to her and the children. This would, in turn, the judge would then grant her 100% custody of the children and then give the father the maximum child support and award her the maximum amount in child support and welfare benefits. And they would see this time and time again. It was so regular that the police had a special department, and that the police, when they changed the law in the Midwest, the police was upset because the police lost money. The police department lost money off of these fake arrests and breaking up families. Y'all might wonder how America got this way. How did America get this way? Well, police protested the law because they lost money in overtime, because domestic violence went down by like 10, 20,000 cases in 1 year. Because what they found is that the women no longer had an incentive to file a domestic violence case. Part of the law said that if you do, because I didn't know, but they knew that this was part of it, and it was costing the courts money because these men couldn't pay the penalties. So the court said, with this 50-50 custody, if you file this domestic violence in the effort to get full custody, you have to pay for it. See, what would happen in the past, because you believe all women, is they could do this for free. And they would get an attorney for free. Well, that's no longer the case. 50-50 custody means I don't have to give you an attorney. You can go say it was a domestic violence, but you're going to have to pay the $300 filing fee. You have to hire your own attorney. And guess what happened, you guys? They stopped doing it. The domestic violence went down by 75%. And the people were, and the fathers are able to see their kids. And also went down is the exorbitant, undue, and unfair child support. 50-50 custody is no need for child support. This is coming to you from berkowiczandcook.com. And it says, for better or worse, Missouri is a 50-50 child state. All right, this is to the point that we're talking about here. For better or worse, Missouri is a 50-50 child state. So to my point earlier, I brought up the domestic violence because we're going to go into jeaniemai and jeaniemai's motivation for filing and bringing up domestic violence and fear of the father now that they're not together. When they were together, it was fine. Now that they're not together, it's a problem. So I told you about how the domestic violence went down. This article here doesn't really agree with. Let's read what it said, because it made me think about another aspect of the law that I know fathers, when they hear it, are going to love it because you haven't heard about it before and you haven't heard this type of logic. But listen to the logic of the law, and it makes sense. Of late, several states have decided to make moves toward giving moms and dads equal time with their children. Missouri is one of those states. In other words, under current Missouri law, if parents are living in two separate households and need a custody order, the default will be a parenting plan where dad gets to have kids in the home half the time and mom gets to have the kids in the home half the time. See, I don't think people really understood my point when I said how powerful this law is. Do y'all understand what just was said? Unless you've been through everything with the child support, slavery, and fraud, and how much money they make and pay and go into all these jobs, you don't understand what he just was saying. That all the jobs would go away. All these buildings that are here used to prosecute fathers in America would go away, because if we break up and we live in separate homes, the default is I get them half the time and you get them half the time. And what you need to understand by the wording is, it says that if either party wants a custody agreement, because remember what I told you about Jeezy being nice, because when you married, there is no custody established. So it's saying that that would still be in place. And if either side wanted a custody agreement, then they would have to come to court, hire a lawyer, and pay for it. That means all of this shit stops and goes away. What do you mean perfect? The reason you have the custody situation the way you have it now in America is because the mothers can get these things for free, you guys. They could get these, they get representation, they get the filing, everything. The society is set up in such a way that they get everything they need for free to take away your children. But the law now would say that, okay, you can go to courts. The courts still have the tenor. The courts still, the judges are still there. The judges still hate fathers. But now you have to pay. You have to pay. You have to go pay the filing fee like a father would. All of the men are familiar with what I'm talking about. Any guy who's tried to file for custody and need to get just 50-50 custody. Any man that's filed for visitation. There are no special offices in the hood. There are no special women funding clinics. There are no free attorneys. There's no free filing fee. And you got to file it in triplicate. Any man that's filed for visitation or custody knows what I'm talking about. Imagine if the woman had the same burden that you had, that she had to figure out what paperwork, file it in triplicate, in the right place, right court, hire a lawyer, just to get a little bit, because the law in the state is not going to give her more, because the law says y'all both get 50-50, so now she got to get a lawyer and say why he doesn't get the law, because it's his right. It's in law. You're going to have to come up with a hell of a case. You're going to have to come up with a hell of a case to say why he shouldn't get his right. It's different. It's like having the Second Amendment. You can't just come in here and say, he beat me up. That's not going to do it anymore. Domestic violence is not going to do it, and you're going to have to prove that in court. You're going to have to come in here with a domestic violence conviction. I'm sorry, ma'am, that's the law. He gets to have the kids. You coming in here saying he beat you up is not enough. Did you go to the police? Is there a conviction? You're going to need a conviction. And even with that, you're going to need a precedent to say that this conviction would warrant him not getting his rights. And it has to be a precedent, like they say, felons can't have guns and can't vote. But then they come back and the Supreme Court said you can't do that. You can't take away somebody's rights. That's what this law is saying. So I brought up the fact that domestic violence went down because they used domestic violence in the same way that jeaniemai is using it against Jeezy. But what also is dropping is the custody battle. Because it's a given. It's 50-50. Now, if you want to come to court and have the court be a third party, you're going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to pay. It's going to be expensive. And you're not going to get more than 50% because it's the law that he gets 50%. And what happens is women stop fighting it. A couple women think that it's still yesteryear. They hire a lawyer, they go to court, and they lose. And they realize that it's not just an opinion, it's a law. And the judge's hands are tied. The judge's hands are tied. It's a law now, ma'am. He gets 50-50. No matter what you say. It used to be you can come here and just say something and get the baby. Think about that. You could just come here and say he was mean. He hit me. Okay, go ahead, get the baby, child support, you win, everything. He's destroyed. Not with this law. Not with this law. Every state should have this law, right or wrong. And it's a reason why you only see these laws in rural white areas of America. And I told you it's because those white district attorneys wanted relief for the poor white males who were being abused by the abusive child support laws.
Jeezy has amended his plea for custody of his daughter, who is 2 years old, and his estranged wife, Jeannie. According to court filings, the 46-year-old artist, who filed for divorce from Mai in September 2023, is currently requesting primary custody of Monaco Mai Jenkins. He wants Monaco to live with him full-time and has petitioned an Atlanta judge to revoke the custody and parenting time agreement that he and 44-year-old Jeannie reached during a recent mediation. Additionally, Jeezy claims that Jeannie isn't even caring for their child herself. The Seen It All hitmaker also alleges that Jeannie has been denying him parental time with Monaco for almost 2 months. When Jeezy and Mai first split up, Jeezy agreed to move to the basement, and Mai finally moved out of their house, bringing Monaco with her. Now he claims that their daughter has spent the last 2 months during which he has been denied parenting time, mostly with Mai's mother.
Presented to you some facts about the sector and about breakups, relationships, and custody. Now now you might disagree with me. You could say I'm one of those disgruntled black male content creators, right? Well, let's listen to a white male who used to be married to jeaniemai, and let's hear his opinion of what's happening to Jeezy. And let's see if it jives what I've taught you about custody and breakups and Jeezy being too nice. Let's go to the tape.
Gotten Jeannie's ex, Freddie Hartis, out of whatever hole he was in. And reportedly, he's siding with Jeezy. He's like, bro, I totally get you. This woman is a liar who set me up too and manipulated people into believing I'm the villain.
I have a really hot temper. Not a lot of people know this, but it's just something in my family. I've seen it in my grandmother. Saw it in my grandfather, to my grandmother, to my mom, to my aunts, to me, right?
Damn. Y'all remember Jeannie's ex, Freddie, right? The thing is that when Jeannie was...
I have a really hot temper. Equally yoked. What you're going to find in a lot of these, what I learned with this case and what cases like this, well, that's why I went into the background of the domestic violence, is these people and what may have caused Jeezy to leave is the gaslighting and the violence and the anger and her not understanding what she was doing and the individual she was with. Let's continue.
With Freddie, she said that she did not want children. So when she announced that she was pregnant with Jeezy's child, for some reason, people started trolling Freddie. Well, Freddie also clapped back by responding, I upgraded from trash to treasure a long time ago. Best decision I ever made. Congratulations. Being truly happy is an awesome feeling. Love my little family. In other words, he basically called Jeannie trash. And when I tell you that Freddie and his wife were willing to clarify what Freddie meant by calling Jeannie trash, girl, these two exposed the hell out of Jeannie for apparently manipulating her followers into thinking Freddie was the devil. Yet behind the scenes, she was the real devil, allegedly.
Wow. Do you hear this? Not just the ex-husband, but the ex-husband and the ex-wife. She tortured behind the scenes. That's the type of woman she was. Jeezy should have did his homework. And this is somebody she was married to for 10 years. Let's pay attention and let's see who really is Jeannie Handai.
This is what happened. After Jeannie and Freddie broke up, Jeannie was out here talking about how the person she married turned out to be somebody else.
Knowing what I know now about who I married, I wouldn't have married him. Oh, Jeannie. Yeah, no, I know. I don't mean to get that serious, but I'm just saying this out there because it's just crazy. You hear all the time that money can change people. Well, divorce can really change people. And it's just so weird because the one thing that he would always say back then is like, you really truly don't know a person until they don't get what they want. But I never thought he would be the one to prove that to me, you know? I'm sorry.
But while Jeannie was painting Freddie as the bad guy, Freddie's wife, Lindsay, who was also getting a ton of heat for being a homewrecker, got on the show to tell her side of the story, saying Freddie's employee overheard Jeannie talking to one of her co-hosts' husbands about some very explicit, detailed things regarding another man. Freddie stayed through a lot. She isn't being honest. She was done long before I came into the picture. They no longer spoke or lived together. In his head, it was over. He has done everything to make it work, and everything legally was set in place to move on. Both Freddie and Lindsay were basically saying that Jeannie was just pretending to be heartbroken, crying all over about the divorce, yet in reality, she had moved on ages before the actual divorce. But when
she was just pretending to be heartbroken. She was just pretending to be heartbroken and jeaniemai knew by going on TV and saying the things that she was saying that she would cause his new wife, this woman right here, and their children anguish. Jeaniemai did it anyway for views, for clicks, and we know that we live in an attention whore society right now. What's the biggest currency? Attention, likes. That's the biggest currency right now is attention and likes. And her ex-husband's new wife. The ex-husband's new wife is explaining to you the inner workings of how Jeannie played the game post-divorce and how her actions, she didn't care about how it affected him, his new family, including the wife and children. She still went on television and lied and portrayed him as the bad guy, knowing that this new woman would get hate mail even though she was pregnant and with child. That's jeaniemai. That's jeaniemai.
Freddie moved on just months after their divorce. Jeannie created this sob story to turn everyone against Freddie and his new wife. Then Lindsay specifically said that everything Jeannie does is for strategic attention, and her followers are just like sheep, and she has them wrapped around her fingers. Now, Jeannie's fans had her back, and I don't know if it's the hold that Lindsay
She did everything for likes, and her fans are wrapped around her finger.
was talking about, but they stood by their girl and dragged both Lindsay and Freddie through the mud. I mean, why else would they be on Freddie's timeline after Jeannie announced her pregnancy, even though by that time they had both moved on? Well, maybe just like Lindsay and Freddie said, Jeannie is very manipulative, and she kind of succeeded in making people believe that Freddie was the villain, just like she's doing.
Breaking news. Who is surprised that Jeannie is the dragon lady? Who is surprised that Jeannie Handai is the dragon warrior? I'm not surprised. Let's keep going.
With Jeezy. Like, have you read the responses she gave to Jeezy's divorce filing? Honey, that divorce response makes me want to wrap Jeezy up and literally send him to another universe because of the things Jeannie said in there. Don't worry, in case you haven't gotten the chance to read through the over 100 pages, here's a little breakdown for y'all. In the filing, Jeannie first stated her concerns for their daughter, Monaco's safety, should Jeezy be allowed to spend time with her without the temporary order they'd previously agreed to be in place. According to the filing, both parties signed a mediated agreement in February, which in part requested that Jeezy provide an inventory of all the firearms in his home and ensure they are secured before he has parenting time with their daughter. But Jeannie claimed that Jeezy refused to do so and outlined instances when she thought Monaco was not safe with her father. She said that Monaco once found a rifle in a zipped-up Louis Vuitton bag left on the dining room floor in 2023, and that Jeezy's younger daughter found his firearms in various locations in the kitchen. In addition to that issue of safety, Jeannie also said that Jeezy has been neglectful of improperly supervising their daughter during his visitation time, including when he allegedly left.
None of these things are illegal. You notice that when they make these claims, they make these ambiguous, vague claims about mysterious things that are not actually crimes, ladies and gentlemen. You bring these things up as if they were a crime, as if it was not his legal right, dehumanizing Jeezy as a man and as an American. Let's keep going. Purpose of my podcast, The Blast.
Left her seemingly unattended while he performed at the CMG Gangsta Art Tour in November 2023. So Jeezy said in his divorce filing that Jeannie was gatekeeping their daughter, but in response to that, Jeannie said that Jeezy created the false narrative to make her the villain. She strongly rejected claims that she withheld Monaco from her father, alleging the father and daughter spent time together in November and December 2023, as well as in February and March 2024. She also added that Jeezy was prevented from seeing the 2-year-old upon his failure to abide by the terms of the parties' mediated agreement. But that's not the only thing Jeannie had to say. She also said that Jeezy was very aggressive during their marriage, and that she mistakenly believed Jeezy when he convinced her prior to their marriage that he was a changed man. But she apparently later discovered during the marriage that the man actually had rage issues. Jeannie even went into details and described a few instances from January 2022 where Jeezy behaved like an animal, starting with a time when Jeezy allegedly struck her in the face with a closed fist after asking the driver to leave them alone in a car in Miami, and that
did the paperwork actually refer to Jeezy as an animal? Was he actually referred to as an animal in court documents? For anybody thinking that Jeezy should still be there, okay?
attack caused her a subconjunctival hemorrhage. Apparently, Jeezy was calling her all sorts of nasty names and said, "I can't wait to divorce you when we get back." Jeannie also said in the court documents that she was held against her will inside the vehicle while trying to escape Jeezy. And after that scary incident, Jeannie said they contacted their pastor and therapist for counseling. She also said she'd reported another alleged incident that took place inside a car to the therapist. Clearly, the counseling did not work, because she said that 3 months later, in April 2022, Jeezy allegedly choked her from behind as she was ascending the stairs at the San Francisco Ritz-Carlton. And after that, Jeezy hurled insults at her, and he kept repeating, "I can do so much better than you." She also said that that particular...
So none of these events, no police report, no crime, but all of a sudden in a divorce custody hearing, and remember the background that I laid about these custody hearings and these breakups when it comes to child support money and the custody of the child. Now all these things come out.
Incident caught the attention of the hotel security guard stationed in the lobby, and that the security allegedly intervened and provided Jeannie protection after she repeatedly stated she felt unsafe. Hold on, guys. There's another incident that allegedly involved verbal attacks at the UNCF 39th Annual Atlanta Mayor's Masked Ball on December 17th, 2022. According to Jeannie, during the UNCF event, she went to the bathroom with her girlfriend, and Jeezy allegedly became enraged because he did not know her whereabouts for 25 minutes. He allegedly reacted by abruptly demanding that the two leave the party at once. In the vehicle, Jeezy reportedly asked the driver to exit, and then he began to berate Jeannie. She said she attempted to exit the car 2 times, and the second time, Jeezy allegedly grabbed the neckline of her dress, tearing the dress and causing multiple 2 to 3 inch scratches across her right breast with his fingernails. In another incident, Jeannie said that Jeezy allegedly injured her and himself after crashing a golf cart while he was drunk. Child, for 2 people who were not even together for that long, those are more than enough instances for anyone to walk away. But the surprising thing is that Jeannie was not the one who filed for divorce. It was Jeezy. So naturally, a lot of people were questioning why Jeannie stayed with Jeezy and was even reportedly fighting the divorce. Yet this man was basically behaving like an animal. And it doesn't help that Jeezy has denied all the allegations and basically called Jeannie a manipulative liar when he wrote on Instagram, "The allegations are not only false, but also deeply disturbing, especially coming from someone I loved. This malicious attempt to tarnish my character and disrupt my family is ridiculous. It's disheartening to witness the manipulation and deceit at play. And at this time, my main concern is being an active father to our daughter as I continue to fight for court-mandated joint custody. Rest assured..."
Manipulation. I laid the groundwork. It's all manipulation. It's all manipulation. Man, Jeezy, shout out to Jeezy, man. Shout out to Jeezy. It's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. Y'all let me know, man, what y'all think in the chat, man. Jeezy going through it right now, man.
You know, we're present and we're alive right now. But I think every parent can tell you that when you have a baby, you get a chance to be born
What about
again.
the father? What about the dads? Anybody out there? What about the father? What about the dads? We feel that way too about the children. This is the perversion I was talking about earlier. How can you say that and keep the children away from the parent, the father? Y'all let me know in the chat what y'all think, man. Jeezy now going from divorce, filing for full custody, gets attacked by his ex-wife on grounds of being violent and having weapons. Now he has to retract the full custody. Now he's going for joint custody. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all watch this video right here where I talk about Kendrick Lamar and I break down the Kendrick Lamar Drake diss. Y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel. My name is Perfect Time Podcast with the blast on your ass. Y'all have a good one, man. And I'm out.